Hi guys, Phil here from Muscle Tan. It's peak week, it's the WNBF first timers, the Novice show, the inaugural one. We're really looking forward to it. We know these guys put on the best events. We're so proud to be part of the team. So I thought I'd just jump on here now and do you a little video of some of the best practice to get your skin ready for when we do your tan at the weekend. None of this is hard, none of it, we've covered it before. I just thought I'd give you something to reference back to because it's your first time. So currently wearing the old Muscle Tan t-shirts. I did have some new special ones done. I'll share this story because it's typical. We decided to get some American football shirts done. I was really pleased with these, you know. It's on the back there. The Nike, they weren't cheap. They would be very, very breathable in this weather. It turns up and turns out that when it says training top on an American football shirt, they actually mean a training top. So it looks completely ridiculous unless I've got a set of shoulder pads in. So if anybody's got some shoulder pads that go in spare, give us a shout because I'd quite like to wear that at some point. Anyway, moving on, I digress somewhat. So we're into peak week. Hopefully by this point you're chilling out, not stressing out too much about anything you've got left to do. It's those fine tweaks. So what do we need to do in order to get our skin ready to get the tan to sit the best it can do? Now firstly, I'll point out that Muscle Tan is a very unique formula. It's specifically designed for competition tanning. That's its only use. So it's very, very forgiving. You know, there's not a lot of, with the bits of information here and the tips I'm going to give you, the tips, you know, the little bits that'll help along your journey within bodybuilding, things that I didn't know anything about many years ago and arguably nowhere near as much as Mrs. Kane does, but they will help you just get that finish that you want, because ultimately the most important thing for us, for me, for Muscle Tan is that you guys get presented on stage in the best possible colour. You know, we want continuity of colour on stage for judging, and you guys want to be able to show off all that hard work in the best way possible. We don't want tans slipping or sliding or running, because they do in some cases, not with ours. So that's what we want to avoid. So the simple steps are, guys, hair removal. Again, we don't need to overcomplicate it. You can use hair removal creams if you should wish. If you've used them before, fine. Whatever the other ones are, I don't know. They're quite harsh on the skin. You know, they're removing hair for a reason. So if you've not used them before, I tend to stay away from them. I know of enough people that have used them and burnt themselves in private areas. Probably not the best. I find it much simpler to just use a pair of trimmers. You know, when we're talking about hair removal, we're just taking it down to as low as it can be. If you're happy using a razor and you use a razor on a regular basis, use a razor, don't worry about it. What we're doing though with a razor, once we're dragging it down the skin, we are removing moisture. We're already in a dehydrated state, so really we want to try and keep as much the skin as refreshed as possible, because that's going to give us a better base for solution to sit on. So I would stick with a pair of trimmers. These are the Manscaped ones, lads. If you've not come across these, worthwhile investment. They don't nick or tweak or cut you in any way, shape or form, and that will go close enough to your skin for what we need for bodybuilding and for your tan. So there's your first thing, a decent pair of trimmers and not cutting ourselves. Body wash. So pH balance is something else that's important when it comes to putting your tan on. I don't know, I know this much stuff about tanning these days, but yeah, a well pH balanced skin. So if we're using something that's overly oily or overly soapy, that will change the pH balance of our skin. Ultimately, if we're doing that, then we could end up with potentially patchy tans. We don't want this. So if we use a really simple body wash, right? So you want something that's pH balanced. There's Simple's one. There are others. Sarah and I use the Lacura from Aldi. The kids body wash and foam bath. It's a pH balanced one. It's £1. Well, probably less than that. It was about 98p. Whichever way, it's not an expensive investment, and that'll do exactly the job you need to do. If you wash with that, you will not go wrong. Moisturising. So we're washing, we're removing hair, and we want to moisturise at the same time. So what we want is a nice smooth skin. That's it. That's nice, with a nice pH balance that allows the solution to sit on, absorb, and look absolutely spot on. So moisturiser wise, again, you want something that's water based. Steer away from oil based moisturisers. The reason for this, and Mrs. Kane will explain it a lot better because she's a skincare expert. I am not, right? I am just a man who knows a bit about tan, right? There's oil-based formulas, i.e. something like Dove, for example, upsets the pH balance of your skin because it's oil-based and actually ends up drying your skin out. Again, remembering that we're already going to be dehydrated because of our water loading. It doesn't give us the best area to sit, you know, on the skin to be able for a tan to sit on. So something water based, that's our own Nourish. We actually make one that's very, very good. So if anybody wants to purchase at a later date for another show, let us know and we'll send you the details. But yeah, so keep it simple. Those things will give you a nice balanced skin. Really straightforward. Don't do anything weird. Simple as that. And that will allow us come Saturday, because obviously we're doing base tans on the Saturday. Probably worth explaining why we do base tans on a Saturday, as it can be a challenge for people to get there. We've got to go there 2 days before. The reason we do your base tans the day before is we do 2 coats or the day before the show. So in this case, it's going to be Saturday. The time slots have been sent out. You know what you're doing. There's a lot of you. It'll be absolutely superb. But we do this it's like primering up a car. That's the best way I can probably describe it, right? So we get that on, and what that does is give us a great base. You know, that's why it's called a base coat. So we put 1 coat on, we do a 2nd coat. There's DHA in there, there's bronzers in there. You go off, do whatever you're going to do on Saturday night. Hopefully not a lot, by the way. Don't do anything odd or weird or strange. That'll dry, it'll start to develop, and then come Sunday, when we come to do your top coats, we've got this great, dry, dark base that just allows us to put 1 coat of this on. Usually 1 coat, it might be 2. It depends. It could be 3, right? It's all dependent on the colour that you are, how white you might be, your skin tone, skin colour. The point being is it's ready when it's ready, but usually it's just 1 coat. And that just goes on the top. There's bronzers in there, and that gives you a beautiful finish. That means if you are prone to sweating, which I am, as you probably tell, I'll be sweating a bit now, it doesn't slip. You don't get those. If you've seen people on stage where you've seen athletes with it running off them, you know, that's not a great look. I've been there. I don't want that for anybody. This just doesn't happen when you do the base tans before. We've tried other ways around. We've got some other kits coming out actually that might help people if you can't get there, but that's for a future day. I'll talk about it later. But yeah, that's the process. So top coats on the Sunday morning, on show day, goes on, boom. Anything you need on show day, we're there. There's a full team of us there. If you've nudged yourself weed on yourself happens a lot. Some of you be laughing, but weed on yourself is one of the things. There's a chemical in wee, I think it might be acetone, possibly wrong, or something that just strips tan, but yeah, it's fairly common. But yeah, if you get something down yourself or you spilt water down yourself, we're there to sort all that out. Again, don't worry about it too much. Don't go and do a shower or anything the night before, that's weird. So yeah, so there's our processes with that. Base coats the night before, top coat on the day. We'll make sure it looks perfect. Before you get on stage, one of the team will glaze you up. Not a big fan of over glazing, I'll be honest. I think there's a right amount of glaze, and I think some federations put too much on, and I think we lose condition in that, but that's a personal opinion. We'll make sure it looks absolutely perfect. That's what it's about. It's very hot outside. You see, we're having a beautiful week, aren't we? So there's a couple of things that are worth mentioning right now. Don't be sunbathing, right? You know, it's very easy to think, I'll get in there, I'll top my tan up, right? Having a spray tan on the top of sunburn isn't a good look, right? You can end up with bits of skin damage, which if you've burnt yourself, clearly, and that will produce lines. There's definitely some scientific reason that Mrs. Kane would explain far better than me at this point, but yeah, we don't want tan lines, we definitely don't want sunburn, and we definitely don't want dry peely skin. These things are not good for your tan and will not make you look good on stage. So guys, if you're going to sit in the sun, use a very strong factor, and let's just think about it. Let's just not mess these tiny bits up. If you look in the media or anything to do with suntans and spray tans, the two things do not mix like that. So let's just for this week, let's just avoid it and use good sunscreen. So sunscreen's the key for us this week, I think. I'm trying to think what else I need to cover at this point. I think that was about it. Skin conditions. If you've got a skin condition, if it's something that it should be on the booking forms. That's why we send you out these booking forms. They're for our insurance, because we're fully insured. We want to know, you know, if there's anything that you've suffered with, because there might be that you've got a skin condition. If it's something you think is a bit embarrassing, don't worry. We come up against this stuff all the time. Sarah is a skincare expert, right? She really knows the stuff. So if you're not sure of something, please just drop us a message or an email, and it will be in confidence, and we will come back to you with ideas of how we can deal with it. You know, that's what we're here to help with. But yeah, don't worry about those things. Just if you've got a question, fire it across, and we'll pick up on that and advise best practice where can. And I think that's about it, guys. I've probably waffled for long enough. You can probably hear the spaniel in the background squeaking away, because he definitely wants his tea. So that's us. I'm not sure how long that's taken me, but either way, any questions, drop us a message. Other than that, I look forward to meeting you all at the weekend. This it's going to be an experience. It's going to be a great show. Steph and Andrew really know what they're doing, and we're going to have a good time. So best of luck, guys, and I'll see you at the weekend.